I hope everyone is fine. And today we are going to learn about how to write a chemical equation and what information does a chemical equation provide. Okay, so before that, in the previous video, I have given two questions to write the chemical equations for the photosynthesis process and reaction of quicklime with the water. Okay, so let us see that two equations. So 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2. So this is a chemical reaction of or chemical equation of photosynthesis process. And when carbon dioxide is reacting with water in the presence of sunlight, it is giving out glucose and evolving out the oxygen. And next, let us see the equation of quicklime reacting with water. So if anyone don't know what is quicklime, so in Telugu we say it as sunnam. Okay, so here quicklime formula is CaO, that is calcium oxide. It is reacting with water and giving out CaOH taken twice, that is calcium hydroxide. Okay, so I hope everyone got the same equations. So here every chemical equation gives a lot of information for us. Without having any proper explanation, if you just see the equation, you can learn a lot more. Okay, so here I have exhibited one chemical equation. Okay, so let me read out for you. So 6 moles of carbon dioxide which are in gaseous state are reacting with 6 moles of water which are in liquid state are giving out 1 mole of glucose which is in aqueous state, and also 6 moles of oxygen which is in gaseous state is getting award. Okay, so have I written any explanation here? No. So you might be saying that teacher, you are teacher, that's why. Yeah. No. That is not the thing. Here it is all about what information the equation is providing us. So by the simple notations given in the chemical equation, we can understand the chemical equation better. Okay, so here first ever is physical state of the compounds. Okay, so what all molecules are participating in the reaction and what products they are giving out, in which state of matter they are, we can find it out by the simple notation given in the equation. So here we have generally states of matter as solid, liquid, gaseous and aqueous. Okay, so if it is solid, then they represent it as S. If it is liquid, then they represent as L, and gaseous G, aqueous A, Q. So if anyone don't know what is aqueous solution, it is nothing but any solid mixed in the water or any kind of solvent, then they form the aqueous solutions. For example, a very simple example we can take it, salt or sugar, when it is mixed in the water, then that type of solution we say it as a aqueous solution. Okay, so now you can understand this equation now. As for CO2 we have written G, so I have read it as it is in the gaseous state and water in the liquid state, and glucose is in the aqueous state and oxygen is in the gaseous state. Isn't it so simple? So like that. So just by representing these letters, we can know in which state of matter they are. Okay, so that is over. Then I have said about moles, 6 moles, 1 mole, 6 moles. So what are these moles? So moles are nothing but number of molecules. Okay, so how many number of molecules of reactants are reacting and how many number of molecules are of products are giving out. Okay, so like that we can know it by the number represented before the compound. Okay, so here 6 moles, as the 6 is written here, that's why we are reading it as 6 number of moles. So you might be getting confused here, we have 2, can't we read 2? No, because it is only representing the number of oxygen molecules. But here we are totally reading about the carbon dioxide. So we consider number of what the number is represented before the compound. Understood? So you don't get confused between these 2 and this 6. Okay. So 6 moles. So number of moles can be read only by the number which is represented before the compound. So here 6 moles I have read like this, and water is also 6 moles. as a, but before the glucose there is no number. Then how can you know it? Is it 0? No. If any number is not written, we have to consider it as 1. Okay, 1 mole of glucose. Understood? Again here 6 moles of oxygen. So like that, how many number of moles are they reacting and giving out? We can know by the number which is written before the compound. Okay, that is over. Next, precipitate and evolving out. So we have a precipitate. So what is a precipitate means? Whenever any reaction is going on or completed, then the product will be settled down in the any container wherever we have done the reaction, whether if it is a beaker or test tube or any other, the water product has formed, it will be settling down. Now you can take this chalk powder when we are mixing it in the water. Then what happens after some time, the chalk powder will be settling down. Okay, the plain water will be floating. So in the same way, if it but that settles in the what is that powdered form. But if it is in the liquid state and if it is settling down, then we say it as a precipitate. Okay, so we can take another example also. If honey, okay, if honey is mixed in water, then what happens? It will be settling down. Okay, so like that. Substances. Okay, so what is precipitate formation is, after completion of the reaction, there will be some compound or substance which will be settled at the bottom of the container wherever you are doing the reaction. It might be beaker, test tube or anything. Wherever you are doing the reaction, the substance or the product which has formed will be settled down. Okay, so that we say it as a precipitate. So for simple example, we can take if any chalk powder, if we are mixing in the water, so after some time we observe that the chalk powder will be settling down. Okay, so that will be settling as a powdered form. But in the case of precipitate, if it is settling in a liquid state, then we say it as a precipitate. Okay, so it will be settling down. That two clear differences we can see between the products. And next, evolving out. So in this evolving out, we generally see for the gases. So if any of the gases after completion of the reaction, if they are leaving out the place of reaction, then we say that the gas has been evolved out. The best example is photosynthesis. We say that oxygen has evolved out. So what is happening? Where is the reaction taking place? Actually, it is happening in the leaf. Okay. After the completion of the reaction, after formation of glucose, then what happens? The oxygen molecules are evolving out. Means the oxygen molecules which are formed as a byproduct are leaving the place of reaction. So understood? So like this we can know water forming precipitates and water evolving out by simple arrow marks. So if it is forming a precipitate, then we represent it with the downward arrow mark, because it is settling at the bottom of the container, no? That's why we will be representing it with the downward arrow mark. And if it is a evolving out, then what? It will be representing it with the upward arrow mark. See here, after the oxygen, I have kept the upward arrow mark. Means what? The oxygen is evolving out. So next is exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. So already I told you what is an exothermic reaction and endothermic. Exothermic means they will be evolving out the energy. Okay, so let me take that example again. Calcium oxide reacting with water gives rise calcium hydroxide. Okay, so what did I say? That it is evolving out the heat. Means what? After the formation of the product, it is evolving out the heat. Okay, understood? Means what? Here product is forming, again heat is also being evolved out. If not here in the product side, you can also write it near the reactant side also. but the sign will be different. Here, what is happening here? You should not write plus. Then how you should write? CaO plus H2O minus Q, because the heat is getting evolved out. No, that's why we are writing minus Q gives rise to CaOH taken twice. Understood? So in the product side, if you are mentioning minus Q, it is evolving out. If you are mentioning near the product side, then it is plus Q. So understood, no? So in this way we will be mentioning about exothermic reaction. So in this reaction it is endothermic reaction. So here where we can place the Q then? So Q is nothing but the heat. So here where we can place, it is taking up the heat, no? So here near the product, reactant side, we can take it as plus Q because it is taking in the heat. That's why near the reactant side we have written plus Q. If you want to write near the product side, then how can you represent? You can represent it as the minus Q. Understood? Because it is absorbing the heat. That's why if you are writing reactant side, you can write it. But most of them don't write here. They have to write only near the product side for the endothermic, that is plus Q. So by following these simple techniques, you can make your chemical equation more informative. So first, what is the basic? First is reactants on the left hand side and products on the right hand side. And the physical state by representing with the simple letters. And whether the precipitate is forming or anything is evolving out by the arrow mark. Downward arrow mark is for precipitate and upward arrow mark is for the evolving out. And how many number of molecules? By the number represented before the molecule or the compound we can. So let us see few more examples and understand how to make the chemical equation more informative. Okay, so here Na2SO4, which is sodium sulfate, is reacting with barium chloride. This is BaCl2 and giving rise to 2 moles of NaCl, that is sodium chloride, and forming precipitate of barium sulfate. And here if you take sodium sulfate is in aqueous solution and BaCl2, that is barium chloride, is also in the aqueous solution, and NaCl is in the liquid solution and barium sulfate is in the aqueous solution. Okay, so here I have given some beakers to represent the reaction going on. Okay, so here we have taken one of the beaker and taken the Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate solution. Means it will be in the white color powdered form. When we mix it in the water, it will be becoming transparent as water itself. So here we have taken sodium sulfate, and in another beaker we have taken barium chloride, which is also a white color powder. And when we mix it in the water, it also turns into a transparent liquid. So when we are mixing these both liquids, then what happens is, after some time we see there is a white color precipitate settling down of the beaker, and there will be transparent liquid which will be floating above that precipitate. So here when we see that white color solution, it will be barium sulfate, that is BaSO4. So barium sulfate is forming a precipitate. That's why we have represented the downward arrow mark. Okay, and here NaCl, that is sodium chloride, is in the liquid state. That's why we have represented it with the L. So understood, no? So how to write an equation and how to make it more informative. So let me give you one more example. Now zinc metals. That zinc metal are reacting with the hydrochloric acid. This example is in your 9th class also. So here one more and once again let us learn it. So zinc metal is reacting with hydrochloric acid and forming zinc chloride and giving out the hydrogen molecules. And when we see that hydrogen will be evolving out of the place of reaction. Okay, so generally we take the conical flask for it, and in this conical flask we will be taking zinc metals. Okay, after taking zinc metals, we take few ml of the hydrochloric acid. When we take that hydrochloric acid, what happens? Slowly some gas starts evolving out, and there will be liquid forming inside the conical flask, and some gas will be evolving out. So how do you know that gas is evolving out? If you are bringing any lightened matchstick too near to its mouth, then that lightened matchstick will be putting off with a pop sound. Or else in the 9th class you have also done with the balloon. So if you are fixing any balloon to the conical flask mouth, then it starts blowing out. Okay, so why does it blow out? Because some gas is getting entered into that balloon. That's why it is blowing out. So in the same way, we can know that the hydrogen is evolving out of the reaction place and forming the zinc chloride. Understood? So this is the reaction going on. So if we want to write the physical state of this, then zinc, I have said zinc metal we have taken. So zinc metal will be in the solid state, and hydrochloric acid, it is in the which state? It will be in the liquid state. And zinc chloride also will be in the liquid state. Okay, and hydrogen gas, already I have told it as gas, so it is gaseous state. So like this we can know it, and as no number is in front of these molecules, we can know that all are 1 molecules. Okay, so 1 mole of zinc is reacting with 1 mole of hydrochloric acid and giving out 1 mole of zinc chloride and 1 mole of hydrogen gas. Okay, so if we see in this reaction, so here we did not discuss about number of moles, no. So here 1 mole of sodium sulfate is reacting with 1 mole of barium chloride and giving out 2 moles of sodium chloride and 1 mole of barium sulfate. So in this way we can observe the number of moles, physical state, whether it is forming precipitate or evolving out the gas, or else whether it is absorbing the heat or evolving heat. So these all information we can give it. Okay, so today's homework. So like this we can know about many equations. So here one more a small work, let me give it for you. So in the previous video we have discussed about rusting of iron and burning of magnesium ribbon. So if you have understood this topic, then do write them in this form. Means in which state of matter they are, and whether they are absorbing heat or evolving heat, and whether they are evolving gas or forming a precipitate, and number of moles, each and everything you mention in this clear form, and do comment me in my comment section. And if you have any doubt also, please comment in my comment section. And in the next video we will be learning about how to balance a chemical equation. So what all equations we see, they don't be in a balanced manner. So how to balance them and why to balance them, let us all know it in our next video. Till then, keep observing and keep learning. Thank you.